Good evening, everyone at Tushita and online. Welcome to this session. Tonight we will continue our guided meditations based on the 16 guidelines for a happy life. These are totally secular, as in non-religious meditations. They are extracted from a text composed in the 7th century by the king of Tibet at that time, King Songtsen Gampo. And this text really helped to transform Tibet into a civilized country. And until now we know the Tibetans how kind and civilized they are. So this text really contributed to that, and actually the foundation for the development of compassion and wisdom extracted the inner values, the inner qualities from this text in a totally non-religious, secular way. So in this series of meditations, we are exploring them through analytical meditation. We can use the tool of meditation to strengthen the qualities that we already have. And at the beginning of the session, we also do a 5 minutes shamatha practice to settle the mind. Shamatha is Sanskrit for calm abiding, so to calm the mind, to arrive here on the cushion and at home in front of your device. Then after this settling meditation, I'll briefly introduce the topic for today, which is respect. And then we can discuss a little bit among ourselves what are our experiences and our thoughts about respect. And after that, we'll engage in the actual analytical meditation. So we'll explore through guided steps the topic of respect. And again, after that, we'll have a little bit of time to share feedback on the meditation, whatever impact the meditation had on our minds. And we can also share feedback on the format of these meditations, as these are a series of this is a pilot series of meditations. Actually, they are being tested in very few centers around the world, and next year actually they will be launched officially, so all the centers in the organization will be able to go through these meditations. But so before that launched, the Foundation for the Development of Compassion and Wisdom is looking for feedback to improve these meditations. So at the end, we can share our feedback, and this will be collected and communicated to the Foundation for the Development of Compassion and Wisdom. So let us start our practice this evening by finding a comfortable posture, ideally sitting on the floor. But if you're sitting on the chair, it is perfectly fine. Just make sure you're not leaning against the support of the chair, not leaning forward either. Make sure the body is upright. If you're sitting on the floor, you can simply sit cross-legged. Make sure you're comfortable, not pushing your body. You can place your hands in your lap or on your knees, either palms up or down, whatever feels natural. Try to have your back straight, your body upright, but naturally upright, not stiff, Try to have your shoulders and arms relaxed. The neck, you can align it in the continuation of the spine, very slightly tilt the head forward, but not much. You can also place your tongue just behind your upper teeth towards the upper palate. This helps to reduce the production of saliva while you meditate. And finally, the eyes, you can choose whether to keep them slightly opened or to close them. If you're keeping them slightly open, you can gaze 1 or 2 meters in the space in front of you, about 45 degrees cast down. You try to avoid visual distraction. Try not to pay attention to whatever appears in front of your eyes. Remember, it is the mental consciousness that meditates, so we ignore whatever our eyes see if you choose to meditate with the eyes slightly opened. Then, as an object of meditation, I would suggest to take the breathing sensation at the entrance of the nostrils. Try to place all your attention at the entrance of the nostrils, and more specifically at the sensation. Every time you breathe in, every time you breathe out, you can feel perhaps as you breathe in a little bit cool air, as you breathe out it's a little bit warmer. Try to observe that with all your attention. Now, when we meditate, we tend to get distracted, and the two main ways we get distracted are called mental excitement and mental laxity. Mental excitement, basically we are distracted with thoughts, mostly thinking about the past or the future, what we are going to do tonight after this session, or remembering something that happened this afternoon, for example, and therefore we lose our object of meditation. The second way we tend to get distracted is mental laxity, also called dullness or lethargy. Basically, we don't put enough application in our concentration, and the mind starts to sink. We tend to fall asleep, and therefore we also lose our object. Now we fall into daydreaming. So there are two antidotes to counteract these distractions, two antidotes that we need to make sure that we use. Otherwise, we just sit, we'll do for 5 minutes. If we don't use the antidotes, then most likely for 5 minutes we'll completely be distracted, not actually meditating. So the two antidotes are called introspection and mindfulness. Introspection is a mental factor that checks what is my mind doing. Is it meditating or is it distracted? So you can imagine it's like a security guard, like an agent in the background of your mind that is looking. What am I doing? Am I meditating or am I distracted? It's constantly looking from the background. And the moment this introspection notices that the mind is not focused on the object of meditation, then we make use of the second antidote, which is called mindfulness. Mindfulness from the Tibetan, you could literally translate it as non-forgetfulness. Basically, it is about remembering the object of meditation. So when we notice that the mind is distracted, mindfulness remembers the object of meditation, brings the mind back onto the object of meditation, and makes sure the mind remains focused on the object of meditation. You can imagine if you have a pet dog at home and the dog runs away, you can imagine that introspection notices that the dog is gone, and mindfulness brings the dog back home, and you can also imagine tying him against a pillar so that he remains at home. It's a little bit similar to what we are trying to do with our minds. So let us try to do this meditation for about 5 minutes. gently come out of the meditation. So now that our minds are hopefully a little bit more focused, let us discuss a little bit about respect, the topic for today. So I will introduce briefly the topic according to the 16 guidelines for life. Then we can take a few minutes to discuss among ourselves what is our experience of respect, our thoughts about respect, and then we will engage in the analytical meditation. So the 16 guidelines say, everyone wants and needs respect. It is a prerequisite for human beings to relate to each other in a positive and constructive way. Respect acknowledges that we all have the same basic needs, whether physical, psychological, or spiritual, and that other people's experience and wisdom can be helpful to us. Respect transcends cultural, religious, and philosophical boundaries. It is a universal principle that fosters empathy, cooperation, and understanding. In a world often divided by differences and different beliefs, respect serves as a unifying force, allowing us to recognize the inherent worth and dignity of every individual. It is not merely a courtesy or politeness, but a genuine acknowledgement of human nature and the humanity in each of us. Respect can also have a great life-transforming power. From our earliest years, we learn and grow through admiring and copying other people. In traditional societies, this was and is a well-ordered process. Wisdom and life experience are seen as a form of wealth to be passed down the generations. Elder doesn't just mean old. As we move through life, we grow and change with the help of others who have walked before us and who have a deeper understanding and experience of life than ourselves. Through developing our capacity to honor these people, we come to understand the meaning and importance of genuine respect. All around us are people we can respect and learn from, if we choose to do so and if we have the necessary humility. Respect is something that we give rather than demand. Giving and receiving respect warms the heart and lifts the spirits. Words are often unnecessary. We know intuitively whether or not we respect someone and whether we are respected by them. Genuine respect comes from the heart and is freely given. It is not a measure of worldly achievement. We can respect someone for speaking just one sentence or for staying silent. What would your life be? What would your life be like if no one respected you? Thinking of people you respect, what qualities do they have? And how can respect contribute to happiness? So these are 3 questions we can explore together for a few minutes. What would our lives be if no one respected us? And what qualities, the people we respect, what qualities do they have? Why do we respect them? And how do you think respect can contribute to happiness? So on Zoom, you have the possibility to unmute yourself. So then we can exchange a little bit. And here, of course, just speak your mind. Could you repeat those 3? Yes, I'll repeat the 3 questions. So one is what life would be like if no one respected you. And try to think of some people that you respect, you regard highly. What qualities do they have? And finally, how can respect contribute to happiness? But of course, any thoughts you have about respect, any experience you have about respect or non-respect, feel free to share.
Can I start with the third one?
Yes, sure. Can you take this mic? Then people online can also hear you. Thank you.
So when it says that, because this is a question I was also thinking about in this morning about respect and how does it contribute to your happiness. But then I thought that maybe I'm conflating um, happiness with polishing my ego.
Polishing.
Because if somebody shows you respect, or on the contrary, do not show you respect, you immediately, like if you're expecting that I should be showing you respect and I'm not, like immediately your mood shifts, like right away. And if I fulfill that expectation and I show that respect, your eyes light up, your chest comes out, and now I'm not sure whether that's happiness or not, but I'm sure that when they don't show respect, that's a misery. So that's also something that I was just thinking in this morning, because I'm a teacher and I teach, and sometimes in class you do come across a situation like that where you feel like, you know, they're going a little out of line.
Mm.
And sometimes you explain something which is a very complicated topic, but you explain it so well, and they just applaud you. They just and you feel like you're, you know. So that's something that I would probably like you to say something about, like whether it's probably I don't have a understanding of happiness to begin with.
Anybody online would like to share something? Actually, I remember a story. Lamazopa Rinpoche used to share quite many times. He told this story that I think once he was in Dharamshala and somebody, like another lama actually, uh, looked at him like with his nose high or something like that. I think that's what Rinpoche used to say. Like he used to look as if he was higher than him or something. He used to look at Rinpoche like that, you know. And Rinpoche, on the way back to Tushita Dharamshala, I think, was contemplating about that, you know, and didn't really get upset or, you know, was not miserable about that, but thought the opposite, like how kind, you know, this person is showing me that if somebody doesn't show me respect, then I have to, you know, also practice patience and not be irritated by that, or, you know, yeah. But of course, yeah, Lamazopa Rinpoche was very special. I think when it comes to me, somebody looks at me like that, or, then probably there would be some disturbance. No?
Yes. How do you deal with it? Like when somebody doesn't show you respect?
How do I deal if somebody doesn't show me respect? I don't really know.
Like how does it contribute to your, you know, happiness or misery?
I think perhaps irritation would naturally come, like some mild anger, something like that. Or maybe even some form of disappointment or something. But I guess it also depends if it's somebody you respect or not, If somebody who you highly regard doesn't show you respect, then probably you would be um, disappointed. But if it's somebody maybe you yourself don't have respect for, they don't show respect in return, maybe it doesn't matter, then I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yes, true. Expectations has to be there before, then only it can affect you. I was just saying that, like you said, that yeah, expectation has to be there to begin with. Like sometimes you're walking on the road and somebody says something, but you're like, you laugh it off. Uh, so in that case, the disrespect makes you happy. Anyway, but like, it's just, yeah, expectation has to be there. And like the second question that was there, like, what is the qualities that somebody possesses whom we really respect? Uh, I would say that, it's fundamental quality is if they are kind. Like, if they are kind and like sometimes you even are in confrontation with somebody and you really hate them. But when they treat your arguments with respect, they listen to you, they understand it, and they respectfully disagree. Suddenly, after the argument, I feel like I respect the person now. So to me, it's like if they're kind towards you, especially and even in those confrontational situations. And the other thing is, I really respect if they're good at their craft. Like if you are a teacher and you're really good at it, you're a painter, you're really good at it, then I like, no matter how small or the bigger thing, but if you're really good at your art, it's your craft, then you immediately get my respect.
Keep it. Yeah. I think for me also, immediately I would respect someone who has a lot of knowledge, even if they're unkind, perhaps. Or even let's say a teacher who's not good at teaching, like not skilled, not eloquent. If he has a lot of knowledge and he's unkind, I think still I would respect that knowledge.
That's
Perhaps.
very interesting. Yes. Because I think there are a lot of gurus and teachers like that who were exceptional. I think you're right, because there are a lot of gurus and teachers like that who are exceptionally good in their knowledge and wisdom. But like, there are a little bit like, you can't predict their behavior, or uh, they are not always kind to you. But yeah, you do respect them because of that knowledge. I agree with you. That's true. That's true. And the first question that,
What would be life if no one respected you?
what would be it like if nobody respected me? Yeah, as I said, it's like you just said, that it depends, like, do you have an expectation there or not? But if you have an expectation and they don't respect you, I can clearly say that it just creates that irritation, like you said. Like, it's a state of misery where all these conflating emotions are coming up, and um, you start meditating, but in that case you meditate on anger. And you just can't come out of it, because you're like constantly asking why. uh, so yeah, that's if nobody, like, it would be if there's an expectation of respect, which we all have in our day-to-day life with those people that we interact on a regular basis, and especially if you're a teacher and there are students on the other side, then yeah, it would be a constant state of meditation on your anger. That'll be not a good situation. And And that probably is because of our own ignorance and our inflated egos, that we think that, you know, they should respect. Like that's the ego that we have. But yeah.
Anybody online would like to say something? Otherwise, we'll do the analytical meditation and then we'll have more time to exchange. Okay, so let us take some time to explore respect in the form of an analytical meditation. Again, you can find a comfortable posture. You can rest your hands in your lap, on your knees, palms up or down, whatever feels comfortable. The back should be naturally upright but not stiff. Arms and shoulders relaxed. You can drop your chin slightly forward so that the neck is aligned in the continuation of the spine. You can choose whether to keep your eyes slightly opened or lightly closed. If you keep them slightly open, gaze gently downwards in a way that avoid visual distractions. Now that you are comfortably seated, turn your attention to the breath as it enters and leaves the body. Let us start by taking 3 long, slow breaths and allow the air to enter deeply so that the stomach rises and falls with each breath. And now let us contemplate what is respect and why is it important. Do you feel that respect is an outdated concept or something that we need now more than ever? What is the function of respect and who benefits from it? What role does giving respect and receiving respect play in creating a happy life? In the context of the 16 guidelines, which are grounded in traditional wisdom, respect describes our capacity to honor those who have a deeper understanding and experience of life than ourselves. For example, in our early years, nearly everything we learned came from observing and copying our elders at home, at school, or college. Everything we studied had its roots in what other people had studied before us and their efforts to pass that knowledge on. Throughout our lives, we continue to be surrounded by people who are helping us to develop our knowledge and wisdom. Some of these elders speak to us through the pages of history books or in newspapers, while others live more quietly alongside us if we have the openness and humility to seek them out. What does respect mean to you? Can you recall a time when you received genuine appreciation and respect for something that you had said or done? Perhaps you taught someone a new skill or solved a problem for them, or you were just present when they needed you. Can you recall such a time when you received genuine respect and appreciation for something you did or said? How did it feel to experience their respect? Why do you still remember it? If you don't remember a time when you experienced the warmth and affirmation of feeling respected, just imagine what it would be like. It is likely that most of us will also be able to recall a time when we felt disrespected, when our contribution was ignored or perhaps even ridiculed, a time when we tried our best, but we were not acknowledged and not appreciated. How did it feel to be disrespected? Try to remember such a time when somebody showed you disrespect or didn't appreciate something you did or said. Try to remember how you felt at that time. Why do you still remember it? Respect is often expressed in the form of speeches, certificates, and medals, but in essence, it is a deep acknowledgement arising from mind and heart. We know the warm feeling of giving or receiving respect. And just as we gain in strength and confidence from being acknowledged, appreciated, and respected, so we can give the same gift to others. Let us do a short exercise to reflect on how we can develop more respect for the people who nourish and support us on our journey through life. Let us start by bringing to mind your mother or father or whoever was your primary caregiver when you were very small, the main person who provided you with food, drink, bedding, clothing that were vital for your survival. Try to bring that person to mind vividly. And imagine some of the many ways in which they looked after you. They might have dressed you, wiped your nose, fed you, tucked you up in bed. They might have got up in the middle of the night when they heard you crying. They might have taught you your first words and helped you take your first steps. Whatever your feelings about your parents or caregivers now, can you accept that you were once completely dependent on their kindness? Take a gentle breath and try to recall their presence. Allow them to appear before you as if you were once more that small child. What difference have they made to your life? Did they have a lasting effect on who you are today? If you wish, take a moment to acknowledge and be grateful for the role they played at the beginning of your life. In this way, we show respect. Now, move on from childhood to memories of your school years. Can you bring to mind one teacher who stood out for you as being particularly kind and concerned about your welfare? Perhaps they awakened your curiosity and enjoyment of learning, or gave you some special guidance and encouragement. If you can't bring to mind a teacher, Try to recall any person from whom you learned something of significance to you when you were growing up. Maybe they taught you sport or simply listened to you and gave you their attention and their time. Allow this teacher or other person to appear to you as if you were once more that young person again. Take a gentle breath and recall their presence. Imagine them in front of you now. What did you learn from them? What difference have they made to your life? Did they have a lasting effect on who you are today? If you wish, take a moment to acknowledge and be grateful for that influence when you were growing up. In this way, we show respect. Now, moving on from our school days, we may find ourselves at college or university or entering the workplace for the first time or trying to secure our first job. Being a young adult is often a very challenging experience when we are unsure of who we are or what we have to offer. At this time, it can be particularly helpful to encounter someone who believes in us and wants us to succeed. Can you recall one person who particularly supported you or helped you make sense of your life as a young adult? It might be the friend who stopped you making a fool of yourself, or the colleague who showed you the ropes, or the older person who helped you make a key decision. Try to remember someone who particularly helped you as a young adult. Take a gentle breath and recall their presence. Imagine them in front of you now. What did you learn from them? What difference have they made to your life? Did they have a lasting effect on who you are today? If you wish, take a moment to acknowledge and be grateful for their influence at the beginning of your adult life. In this way, we show respect. Exploring respect in this way can be helpful in giving us a new perspective on the ways in which the contributions of our elders inform and support our life. In the coming days, we might find ourselves considering such people with fresh understanding. Thich Nhat Hanh said, "If you look deeply into the palm of your hand, you will see your parents and all generations of your ancestors. All of them are alive in this moment. Each is present in your body. You are the continuation of each of these people." May the practice of respect enrich your life and the lives of those around you. Gently come out of the meditation. And now we can take some time to share feedback about what arose from the meditation. Also, if you have any feedback on the format of these meditations, that would be very helpful for the development of foundation for the development of compassion and wisdom before they officially launch these meditations next year for all the centers. Feel free to unmute yourself and feel free to share any kind of feedback on this meditation. If this was helpful for you, was not helpful, or any thought that came during the meditation that you would like to share.
Thank you, Nicola. The meditation was really, really nice. And I was also sort of exploring if respect and pride, they come from the same place. When I say respect, I mean self-respect, not respect for others. I was wondering if they come from the same place, and if they are if they're coming from our own ego, of our own sense of self. And if you sort of if you come to a point where you have sort of overcome that sense of self, does self-respect still stay? Do you get hurt when when somebody sort of insults you, or somebody puts you in a position where you're not very comfortable? Would you still have that um self-respect, or that state of mind wherein you feel your self-respect has been hurt? So I thought it'd be interesting to sort of explore more and draw the line between pride, self-respect, ego, and where do each of these terms fit into the picture. So, like,
Anybody has any thoughts? Self-respect. or any other feedback on the meditation. Usually people are very chatty about these meditations, but I think tonight it's less of us. Not tomorrow is Durga Puja starting. Everybody's in the festivities mood. If not, then we can just take a moment to, conclude the session. And let us try also to think of ways we can, bring more respect into our daily life throughout the coming week. And next time we will meditate on forgiveness. I think next time it's on Monday, 6:30 p.m. as well. Let us take a moment to dedicate whatever positive energy and increased understanding we have acquired in this session. Let us dedicate all that for those who are ill, whether mentally or physically, for them to have a good health. For those who are hungry or thirsty, to have food and drink. To those who are being harmed by violence, war, conflict, to be at peace. To those who don't have a home, to be safe, and if they live in a hot country, to have shelter from the heat, and if they live in a cold country, to be warm. To those who are challenged with loneliness, disharmony, or financial pressures, to end their worries and increase their happiness. And let us think how wonderful it would be if everyone in this room, everyone on Zoom, everyone in the country, and in the whole world were to reach their potential. Thank you very much for joining this evening in person and online, and we will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a French teacher coming to Tushita, François Chic, and he will teach on the three wisdoms, the wisdoms of listening, reflecting, meditating towards effortless experience. His teaching will be based on a text from Pabon Karim-Peche, and yeah, François is very dynamic teacher. He's on the plane actually, right as we speak. He's on the plane from France to Delhi, and he will be staying in Delhi. I think it's just 1 or 2 days before he will teach at Tushita Dharamshala for a while. And yeah, very dynamic style of teaching, and very profound understanding of the teachings. Actually, he studied the batch before me at Nalanda Monastery in France, and now he's very involved with teaching the Dharma in Paris, and he's especially known for his knowledge and possible, implementation of calm abiding, of shamatha. He's been doing many retreats with the personal guidance of Alan Wallace, and he's currently writing a book actually on shamatha. So tomorrow he will teach here at Tushita, 6:30 p.m. and on Zoom as well, same link, same place. So looking forward to that, and I hope people will make the effort to come despite Durga Puja is the first day tomorrow, no?
Yeah.
Especially for me, it will be challenging to come from Siar Park. But yeah, maybe I will leave early morning to make sure I reach in the evening. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you so much. See you soon. See you tomorrow.